Equatorial Guinea's government has resigned after failing to meet its objectives, Vice President Teodoro Nguema Obiang Mangwe said. Obiang, who is also the son of President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo, said the Prime Minister had presented the resignation of all members of the government because it had barely reached 10% of its targets.
Israeli forces have carried out new strikes in southern Lebanon. State media say, despite renewed criticism from US President Donald Trump of Israel's actions in the country. On Wednesday, Israeli jets struck the Nabati al-Farqa area and the outskirts of neighbouring Kafar Tevnit, Lebanon's national news agency, NNA, reported. The Israeli military has not yet commented, but has previously said it is targeting the Iran-backed armed group Hezbollah. The agreement between Iran and the US lays out the terms of the ceasefire between the bitter rivals, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, some financial relief for Iran, and a reiteration from Tehran that it will never produce a nuclear weapon. According to a draft copy of the text obtained by CNN, the 14-point Memorandum of Understanding has not yet been officially released, but a copy of it was obtained by CNN from a US official. Diplomat who saw it at the G7 summit in France this week confirmed its contents, as did two other diplomatic sources with knowledge of negotiations.
Boxer Floyd Mayweather faces 2 felony charges in Las Vegas over allegations that he wrote a bad check to buy a watch from a luxury resale store. Mayweather was scheduled for an initial appearance on Monday in Las Vegas Justice Court. He was not physically present for the hearing, but a lawyer represented him on his behalf, according to the Clark County District Attorney's Office.
Pinterest on Wednesday announced a new experimental app called Ask Pinterest that will allow the company to explore a more conversational approach to shopping and product discovery that could eventually find its way to the main Pinterest app. It also introduced other AI initiatives, including Pinterest Model Context Protocol, MCP, designed for advertisers running campaigns on Pinterest's platform, and other AI ad tools. The news comes just ahead of the ad tech industry's annual gathering at Cannes Lions, which is this year mainly focused on how AI can serve the needs of advertisers and marketers.
Uber plans to launch a premium robotaxi service in Houston by mid-2027, making it the second US market under its partnership with EV maker Lucid and autonomous vehicle startup Nuro. The announcement follows a flurry of activity in the San Francisco Bay Area, as the trio of companies prepare to offer a robotaxi service there later this year. Uber says it will eventually take the robotaxi program to dozens of cities in the coming years.
Karachi bus owners have announced an indefinite strike starting June 18 to protest what they describe as excessive traffic challenge and heavy fines imposed on public transport vehicles. The Karachi Bus Owners Association said it has decided to suspend public transport services across the city due to growing concerns over strict traffic enforcement measures and rising financial penalties. Lahore. Identity 360 Global, a venture of EPL Private Limited and a provider of AI-powered digital identity solutions, has successfully completed more than 2 million touchless biometric verifications for EasyPizer, marking a significant milestone in Pakistan's rapidly evolving digital financial landscape. What makes this achievement particularly noteworthy is that the same technology has already powered over 1 billion biometric verifications worldwide, bringing internationally recognized standards of identity assurance, fraud prevention and customer convenience to Pakistan's growing digital economy.
Windows 11 has a hidden power management setting that can give users more control over how the operating system handles CPU boost behavior. By default, these options are not available to regular users. However, when exposed through a registry change, Windows 11 can allow more CPU fine-tuning for better performance or improved efficiency.
SpaceX is buying Anisphere, the company behind AI coding tool Cursor, in a $60 billion all-stock deal. The deal is also a major moment for Pakistan's tech community because Cursor was co-founded by Pakistani-born Suale Asif.
Punjab has allowed individuals aged 16 to 18 to obtain juvenile driving permits for motorcycles and scooters. According to Digji Traffic Waqs Nazir, the permits will be issued by traffic police from this week. Permit holders will only be allowed to ride motorcycles or scooters with engine capacities of up to 125 cc. Messaging app Telegram has filed a petition in a New Delhi court challenging an Indian government order that has temporarily blocked use of the platform in an effort to prevent exam fraud. A legal news website reported on Wednesday. The extraordinary order blocking the app came into effect on Tuesday in an attempt to curb fraud channels claiming to have the question paper in advance, but has generated divided opinions on such blanket bans.
The Mughal Empire remains one of the most extensively documented periods in South Asian history, preserved through imperial chronicles, manuscripts, and miniature paintings. Yet within this vast archive, many figures survive only in fragments, overshadowed by dominant narratives. Their absence prompts a fundamental question: who decides what is remembered and what is allowed to disappear? Behram Farooqi's exhibition Beginama engages this question through a language of restraint. The folio becomes both artifact and void, while embroidery, traditionally associated with feminine labour and ornament, emerges as a medium that unsettles the authority of the archive. Farooqi's solo exhibition, presented by the Vassal Artists Association, is part of the 5th iteration of the museum series at the Vassal Gallery, Karachi. Former Pakistan cricket captain Shahid Afridi on Wednesday visited the United Nations UN headquarters in New York and appreciated the Pakistan mission's constructive role in fostering dialogue and settling disputes peacefully. In a statement shared on X, the permanent mission of Pakistan to the UN said, former Pakistan cricket team captain and celebrated all-rounder Shahid Afridi visited the UN headquarters in New York at the invitation of Ambassador Asim Iftikhar Ahmad, the permanent representative of Pakistan to the UN.
World Cup continues on Wednesday, with 4 more teams getting their tournaments underway. Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal take on the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, while England face Croatia. In one of the most anticipated matches of the day, Ghana meet Panama and World Cup newcomers Uzbekistan face Colombia in the late game.
London, United Kingdom. Activists who gained access to the widely condemned Great Israeli Real Estate event in London have shared photos with Al Jazeera that show property in illegal settlements being marketed. The invite-only event, held at Edgware United Synagogue, was part of a roadshow promoting the sale of land and property in Israel, but in reality, these included homes in areas such as Givat Ziv and Tivot Shelley in the occupied West Bank, as well as settlements in East Jerusalem.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has said the firing of warning shots by a Russian frigate to divert a UK-flagged civilian yacht near British territorial waters was troublesome and should not have happened,
but was not linked to the seizing of a Russian Shadow Fleet vessel over the weekend. The incident, involving a British couple travelling on a yacht, occurred on Tuesday, according to statements from the defence ministries of the United Kingdom and Russia.
The small constituency of Makerfield in northwest England has found itself in the eye of the storm of British politics with a by-election on Thursday that will not only produce a new Member of Parliament, but could also pave the way for a new Prime Minister. The by-election was triggered last month when the previous MP, Josh Simons, stood down to allow Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham to contest the seat. If Burnham wins, he intends to challenge UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer for the leadership of the ruling Labour Party.
Pakistan has been penalised by the International Cricket Council, ICC, for maintaining a slow over rate in their Women's T20 World Cup 2026 campaign opener against India at Edgbaston in Birmingham. The ICC announced that Pakistan was fined 5% of their match fees after being ruled 1 over short of the required rate, once time allowances were taken into account.
Google has released the final version of Android 17, along with Wear OS 7 for smartwatches. The update is rolling out first to Google's Pixel devices and is arriving with a new Pixel drop that adds several AI-focused features.
Lahore may receive rain during the next 24 hours as weather conditions continue to change across several parts of the country, the Pakistan Meteorological Department, PMD, said on Tuesday. According to PMD Deputy Director Atif Irshad, rainfall has been reported in various cities, while Lahore is also likely to witness rain as cloud cover increases over the coming days.
David Flusvader holds the position of Director of Creative Writing at the University of Kent at Canterbury, an institution that proudly counts two major international Nobel laureates as part of its legacy, the talented Japanese Kazuo Ishiguro and the Tanzanian Abdur Razak Gurna. Canterbury equally proudly lays claim to two of Britain's most influential classic authors, Geoffrey Chaucer and Christopher Marlowe, as his recent brilliant novella, Something Might Fall, indicates. Flusvader, who is of an Anglo-American background, holds his own against this backdrop with a grace and sophistication that leaves one marvelling, especially since the novella genre is a slippery and difficult one to cope with.
Gilgit-Baltistan Chief Election Commissioner C.C. Raja Shahbaz Khan on Wednesday announced decisions on 3 pending election petitions. The election chief declared PPP candidate Ataullah the winner from GBA PP Steen Diamer 2, PMLN candidate Malik Kefayat from GBA 17 and PMLN candidate from GBA 13 Astor I.
Burt Jones, who was endorsed by Donald Trump, has lost in Georgia's gubernatorial runoff to billionaire Rick Jackson, but candidates backed by the US president secured Senate nominations in Alabama, Georgia and Oklahoma in the primary elections on Tuesday. Voters also decided the party candidates for the congressional race in California and a mayoral primary in Washington, D.C. as the United States gears up for November's midterm elections, seen by some as a referendum on Trump's second term.
Leaders of the G7 have pledged at a summit in France to strengthen Ukraine's air defences and increase pressure on Moscow's war economy, including by tightening sanctions on the Russian oil and gas sectors. We, the leaders of the G7, stand united in our unwavering support for Ukraine in defending its freedom, sovereignty and territorial integrity. A statement released on Wednesday at the end of the meeting said,
Several tankers carrying Iranian oil have crossed the United States blockade line in the Strait of Hormuz, according to a tracking website, 2 days before Washington entered more talks after reaching a framework agreement to end their war. The Tanker Tracker's website, which monitors oil shipments and storage, on Wednesday identified Iran's first crude oil exports in 2 months, citing digital tracking data corroborated by satellite imagery.
Police in Vietnam have seized more than 400 stolen cats in a major bust of a feline meat crime ring in Ho Chi Minh City. According to animal welfare groups and local media, more than 40 of the rescued cats were reunited with their owners after the multi-day operation last week. But several dozen of those rescued have died due to the harsh conditions they were found in, the group said.
All deported passengers arriving at Allama Iqbal International Airport, AIIA, in Lahore will now be required to undergo HIV screening under a new notification issued by the airport's health department. The move is part of a broader federal initiative to screen deported citizens upon arrival in Pakistan. Under the plan, Border Health Services will conduct HIV testing at entry points in coordination with the FIA.
The Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government has introduced a fast-track domicile issuance system to reduce delays, improve transparency and make the process easier for citizens. The provincial government approved major reforms to the domicile issuance system, deciding to integrate it with the DASTAC mobile application and the National Database and Registration Authority, NADRA, Civil Registration and Vital Statistics, CRVS system.
A measles outbreak has spread across Sindh. killing 53 children and infecting more than 2,000 others in the province this year. Dozens of children have also been admitted to hospitals as health experts express concern over the rising number of cases.